Hello, welcome to Crucian Cultural Cuisine. I'm excited today. I'm Sommer Sibilly-Brown and I'm excited to be here with Mrs. Norma Llanos because today we're going to be presenting how you make Benye. Crucian Benye. And so I don't know how to make it, Miss Llanos, so I'm really excited. Please let me know what we're doing.
I'm gonna make sure I tell you everything so that when you're ready, you can make your own. Okay, the first thing we have is bananas. You have to peel them, put them in a bowl,
Remove the bowl over, please.
preferably a bowl, right? And then
And so, Miss Llanos, what I'm noticing about the bananas, they're overripe.
you have to have them overripe so that they're easy to mash because you have to mash them. Okay? Put it in tray. You mash them with a masher. Okay, you're my assistant. Mash.
I'm excited to mash. So how much we mashing? Like we just keep going?
You have to mash them till they get liquidy.
Okay.
Right. Yes. You got it. Okay.
Alright.
Okay, now we're going to give some spices. This is allspice.
And that's a
You
tablespoon.
put in it 1 teaspoon of allspice. And it's not supposed to be heaping, it's supposed to be real flat.
Okay.
Like that. Okay. And then you gotta get cinnamon. Smell.
I don't smell any banana already. I already smell edible.
Okay. Then we have some orange peel.
Teaspoon of orange peel.
Then the one spice that you have to be very careful with is the cloves. Because
Oh wow.
clove takes over whatever you're making.
Yeah, it's a really strong
Strong,
flavor.
right.
But I would have never guessed it had clove in Benye. Okay. And that was like a half of a teaspoon.
Right, right. And this one is nutmeg. Okay, now you stir with the spoon.
Okay. Here, I'll put this on the side. Thank you. And now we stir with a spoon. So let me see. So first I mash the banana liquidy. And we use like 3 medium bananas. And then let me see if I remember. You add allspice, a flat teaspoon, some cinnamon, orange peel, a quarter of a teaspoon of clove, and I'm missing something. What I'm missing, Miss Llanos, what I say?
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. And then we mix it all together, okay. So, Miss Llanos, I've done some food shows, but I think right now I enjoy myself because I really feel like an assistant. Like, again, this is the most active.
That's very good.
How much sugar that was? About a cup.
You put in a cup of sugar. And then you're going to get a half a cup of water.
This smells, this smells so good already. I'm gonna spin it.
Okay. No.
a question in between. Who teach you how to make benye?
My mother.
Okay.
My mother, her name was Norma Pemberton. And she had all the old time food that she get from godmother, because her mother went to the States. But her godmother taught her how to make all the foods. Okay. You're going to have a 3/4 cup of sugar.
Okay. So the first time before we add the water, we added a cup of sugar. Then we add the half a cup.
We add sugar. I got to add water. Okay. Now, this is what's going to bring it in. And
Right here.
okay. Some people put the yeast in water and set it aside. I don't do that. I just put it in with the flour. And now you just stir the whole thing in. There you go.
So I have a question. The difference between also banana fritters and benye is that the dough rice, or the ingredients are actually different.
You know, most of the ingredients don't make no difference. Most of the ingredients is the same, but the difference is yeast and baking powder. The fritter have baking powder. The beignet have yeast.
Thank you. This already smells edible and good.
Because now it's ready, and you have to now cover that up and put it in a warm area in the house, and you leave it, let it raise.
I could use this to just scrape off the extra off the spoon.
You leave this to raise for at least 2 hours.
Okay. This, I move this over here and then rest this here.
Okay, now this stove need to put on.
And I could just cover it with this for now.
And just put it on the side. Because we're moving on. Okay, now that's what we mix. And being that we're not going to wait for that to raise to show you the finished product, I have some here already. Oh, that needs to put on.
Okay. How much you want me to turn it on to?
Put it on to the highest.
To the highest.
Yes, like it.
Okay. So if we were using a gas stove, we'd have our pot pot on a high flame.
High flame, right. Now,
Oh wow, I could see the difference in
Right.
it that you raised.
because now it raise, the yeast make it raise. Now, I'm going to cook it in deep fat. So I use some of the time pure vegetable oil. And you put the oil,
Wow, that pot don't get hot quick, I could smell it.
yeah, put the oil in the pot. Now, it have to cook in deep fat.
Okay.
So you make sure you put enough oil.
Like if you're deep frying.
Right.
So the beignet gonna actually get submerged.
Yes, it goes down and it comes back up. Hey. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a sort of fire drip.
Hold on.
You see?
No, that is actually.
Oh.
Because I said, I can take that, and I can take this out of your way. So you mind if I test the consistency? It
Yeah,
is, yeah. So before it was like, on that one in the original mix,
Right.
it was moving through, but now like it actually have
Because it's
good
raised.
weight going against my hand, and I could
Raised.
see, like, you
Raised.
see that? Like the
That's the
oxygen.
yeast. The yeast working.
Got it. Like that's cool. Like this is also like, this is how cooking is science.
The yeast is working. So you see the bubbles?
Mm-hmm.
It's the yeast.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm just starting to get hot.
So tell me a little bit, you know, off camera, we're talking about bananas and, you know, just the ways like historically people used to preserve things. And so I think that would be great for people to catch, for us to have that conversation on camera. Like you were talking about when you harvest the Hana bananas, the different ways you might use it.
Because they try to, if you have a bunch of bananas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pick the bunch, you put it up now to ripe. So instead of trying to eat all one time, you do all these different foods, like the fritters,
Mm-hmm.
and you use baking powder instead of yeast. And then this here now, you go do the fritters earlier in the day, right? And fix the benye and leave it, let it raise. So after it raise, then the children and the people have something to eat later. And it take care of that bunch of banana and none don't waste.
And it take care of that bunch of banana and not doing waste.
Yes.
Another thing you were talking about is like this is out of necessity. Like the things that we eat now and
Yeah.
enjoy,
Mhm.
like basically our ancestors were using what they had access to
Yep.
to make,
Mhm.
I mean, really delicious tasting things. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love benye.
Mhm.
And so just looking at what our staples might have been: flour, access to sugar, local fruit.
Mhm.
I have a next weird question. Benye traditionally you think would have been served as a standalone, like you eat benye and tea, or was benye like a companion food? You know, like when I think about fritters, today I don't
Yeah.
think about Crucian breakfast, fritters in a plate
Right.
with something. Is benye like standalone or a accompaniment?
No, Benye, they used to make them early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and they will send the children out with a basket with the benye, and they go to all the different people houses and sell the beignets. So like beignet was something where they could have eat any time of the day.
Got it. Got it. That's awesome.
But in the beginning, people used to make a lot of beignet, but afterwards, and you know why? Because I think it's too much work.
Really?
Yes, because you mix it up, but you can't do nothing with it yet. You have to wait until when it raise. And it don't taste good unless it raise. Because when it raise, it get that taste from the yeast. And then that's a totally different taste.
But you know, in doing what we did here, this seemed like such a simple, quick recipe. Because to make the mix, I mean, outside of the time to wait, which you said is like 2 hours, preferably, outside of the time to wait for the beignet to raise, this to mix up this small batch of beignet was not cumbersome at all.
No, but very few people mix such a small one.
Oh, that's
When
okay.
they make beignet, it's a whole big bowl full.
Okay.
And then now, you have to take the time to fry them, which is another one by one.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to drop it in the pot one at a time.
I did. Okay, so let me get to it. That's exciting.
We used to use spoon to do it, but then we discover this.
Ice cream scoops.
Because then you just scoop up and you drop. So this comes out easier.
Okay.
So then we're gonna fry them. If you got the fat, you have the hot.
So traditionally, how you don't know when your oil hot?
Well, it does get like some bubbles in the bottom.
Okay, because I see it streaking.
Right, it's streaking.
So it gonna be 2 stages advanced with streaking. And
You're getting hot.
you know, like you think some of these things is commonplace, but people don't cook, as many people don't cook in cast iron pots anymore. We're not using the same type of oils. So something that is commonplace for you, right, may not be so common for the everyday person cooking in their house, growing up, reintegrating these traditional things. And so, because you would look at a traditional Crucian cook and they know when it's time for the, you know what I mean? Yep. And sometimes either pouring things into the oil before the oil hot, and then that's a whole other situation.
Yeah, then the food don't taste good. Okay.
So, can I leave it sit overnight? Like, is it a 2-hour minimum, or 2 hours is the minimum, but I can make it in the evening so it could be ready to fry in the morning?
Yeah, okay. The thing is that they have to raise. Okay. See, it's not ready. It's getting there.
It gets in there though.
See?
It's getting there. So Benye is still something you don't traditionally make in your home, Miss Norma?
Yeah.
Your kids and grandkids know how to make Benye?
One, you with children, you try to encourage them to do. But as you encourage them, you find out who want to do and who don't want to do. So then when they don't want, you don't push. You know why? They're going to come right around.
Correct. Everything with time. So, like you gotta leave it sit. Like the Benye them. And I just think, oh, now I could see all the bubbles you're talking about, they're almost ready.
Coming up.
Yeah, she is coming up. And I think, you know, I feel so honored and privileged to be here with you today, because I think the resurgence of those who want to do, like, is necessary for our Crucian cultural heritage and culture and foodways to survive.
Yeah.
Like, these segments are important.
There's things that we custom to cook and eat and things that people don't make anymore. Like, the food culture is dying because now everybody into McDonald's and Kentucky.
Yeah, like Benye is something you don't traditionally see and experience around Christmas and the fair, but this would have been a staple across our everyday
and
living.
Especially people that have banana trees, because they will find a way to use all the bananas. It's still ain't happy. It's coming.
Okay. So Miss Llanos, where growing up would you find like Benye in the community? Like, was that a thing? Like, could you just go and buy Benye, or was it only homemade?
No, Benye was homemade. Benye was homemade. I tell you, this lady named Miss Big Ann, she used to make it. And what she do, she used to make pastry, she used to make candies, and she used to put them all on a platter. And she put the platter on her head and come down the road. She used to come down the road, and we used to be like where the Lutheran church is. And when she reached down, we there waiting to get our Benye, because her Benye was huge. She never make a little Benye, she make a big Benye. So when she come down the road, we waiting and everybody run go and buy a Benye from her. We were little. But we used to go to the Lutheran church. So like sometime in the week, after school, you go down and you help them clean the church and clean and things. So we wait there for her when she coming down, so we could get our big Benye.
And how much was the Benye back then when you're buying it from Big Ann?
Benye was only a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, Benye was a quarter, but it was a big Benye.
About how long you would think it take a Benye to cook?
Well, it's according to the pot.
Okay.
The cast iron pots hold the heat, and the Benye cook quicker and it cook good. Like this one isn't cast iron, so it kind of takes me a little longer.
Really? You see, so that's interesting because I would have take the shape and the color for a cast iron pot,
No,
right?
it's not.
But it's not.
It's not.
Not even the handle them.
No, no. It's just a regular little pot set.
Mm.
So you could use it for anything because of the size. If you're not cooking a lot of food, and then you could use it to do the benye too because then you do a couple at a time instead of having to get the real big pot.
So cooking the beignet is according to the pot. So basically you don't go based on the brownness, the color.
The color, right.
Tells you if the beignet is
Right.
cooking. Like I see that all the beignet, when we drop them, they also because of the yeast, they'll float up.
Right.
So you're just looking at the floating and the browning.
Yeah. The
Okay.
float up, but then you have to see, you leave that and get brown.
Yeah, they look so good.
I hope it tastes nice.
From the smell of it, I could tell it's gonna taste nice. I can't wait till the tasting part. You seem like you'd take a lot of joy and pride in making beignet and our food.
I don't like to cook.
You don't like to cook? So how you end up doing it? Tell me, this is even better. How you end up doing it?
The first thing, okay? I was the first girl born to my mother. I had two brothers before me, right? My mother used to work. She used to try to go to school. And you had to fill in. So being I was the first, I had to fill in. So I had to cook, whether I like it or not. But you know, you as children, you do what your parents say and you want to help your parents. But then my other sister, she loved to cook.
So you can cook, but you don't love to cook. And your sister
And
loves
since
to
my
cook.
sister loved to cook, I edge back and leave her let her cook.
And you're feeling now when you need it. I get it. That's awesome.
I ain't telling no lie. I tell her, I said, girl, I don't come here, come make better, but I don't like cooking.
But I think it's important to know that you know how to, and you know how to make how to make our food. And when I say that, I think for some people they don't understand the importance of foodways as a part of our identity, because people across the Caribbean or even in the world make things that may be similar, but the way you prepare something is what makes it our own. And so these are Crucian recipes that you might experience a similarity to, but we have our own nuance, and that's important to document.
Yep. I'm glad she documented because there's a lot of other things that she needs to document too, to pass on to the kids.
Miss Llanos, I'm interested in finding out if you know, first of all, was beignet like, I know we talked about it being cooked more frequently, but was it like a staple of our festival? Like, was people, when or did people used to look forward to beignet during festival time?
Yeah. Festival time, everybody would come looking for beignet.
Okay.
So even if don't care how much beignet you got, you're gonna always sell out because everybody running coming for beignet. Some would come and stand and wait till the beignet don't cook because they want the beignet.
So I feel like that has stayed the same, right? Because people still, if we know we got beignet cooking, people are still wait, want hot, fresh beignet. So that's something, that's a tradition or a practice that has kept going up to now.
Yeah.
Beignet is important. And then we talked about the people in the community who used to make beignet, like knowing that it was more prevalent, but were there special people who had like Miss Anne? Was her beignet skill it was a home skill by certain people in the community?
Okay, and certain people cook certain things. that lady used to make beignet and make things like that. So you're waiting for she because everybody knows she got it and it tastes good. But beignet, they never, long ago, they never really, like to say, run it down because you had maybe 4 or 5 people doing it. But as people die out, the things die out with them because then ain't got nobody that's picking it up and continuing making beignets. So now when some people say a beignet, and they're going crazy because everybody ain't making beignet anymore.
And then, you know, out of curiosity, you have any idea how beignet came to the Virgin Islands as a staple, or what's the origin of it?
I can't remember, but I can't remember, but I know, like, okay, in the beginning, my mother used to make it, but then she would make it and all of us would watch and everybody would learn from her. But then, it wasn't too many people doing it anymore. And then, you find yourself with everybody, when I go make beignet, son, I need to go make some beignet, son, because I want some beignet, son. And Christmas time is even worse, because they're there to the booth. Miss Pemberton, what a beignet? She said, a raisin ain't ready to fry yet. Okay, I coming back, I want 10. She said, boy, what you gonna do with 10? He said, eat them.
Well, if you could only get during festival and the beignet good, why not add a 10? That sweet me because I could see easily, not eating 10 one time, but if you get a flavor for it or the taste for it, that's it. You want to be able to enjoy it. And then you know when you take it home, somebody gonna want. So you gotta get 10, so you can at least get 6.
I'm telling you, beignet, people used to run you down for beignet.
So do you think beignet is Danish or French? Like the name leads me to think that it's French,
Well,
but I'm like, you know, is it Danish?
It could be French, it could be Danish, and it could be English, and it could be from British people, but I can't remember. I ain't gonna tell you it's this or it's that, because I really can't remember.
And then I have another question, or could it be a version of something that they gave that we doctor up and make it something else?
No, they say it came like this from someplace.
Okay.
In doctor up. Because you got step by step, and you have all the different spices that when combined taste like this. So it's like a recipe. It's a recipe.
And technically, the spices like the allspice, we wouldn't have had that naturally in our environment.
No.
Nor would we have had cloves.
No. No. You had all those things, you know, but
Here?
you had to grind them. All the spices and things used to come here, you know, but you had to grind them. You had to put them in the grinder and grind them up. Most of it wasn't like this, like powder.
So they would bring in the allspice and then we would grind it to powder?
Not allspice, but like the clove, the cinnamon, and them things. You get cinnamon sticks and you got to grate and grind them down.
Oh, wow.
That was then. Now we go in the shop and we buy that.
So that's a different layer in terms of who was making beignet and how you prepare it, because they actually had to grind the spices. Okay.
That's why a lot of people don't do it, because it's a long-winded thing. It was. Now it's easier.
Wow, look at how golden and brown they look perfect. They look absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Miss Llanos, oh my gosh, thank you so much for teaching me how to make beignet, Crucian style. I feel very empowered and excited to go home to try the recipe.
That's gonna be good.
Don't worry, when I make one, I go come find you. I go call Zulima and be like, "Where's mommy? I want to bring her my beignet that I made from scratch." Which this segment of Crucian cultural cuisine really makes me excited about capturing our foodways and how it relates to our identity and our story, because like we said off camera, we had 7 flags, right? We had 7 different people colonize and come through, and all of them have left an influence and a mark. And part of what's important as we go forward is not just capturing what we do, but it's also talking about where does what we do, why did it come here, and what does it mean to who we are. And so we could celebrate all the influences and take pride in knowing and understanding our story, but also to encourage people to explore, right? I think this is like a engine to help people start asking how you don't make this, why you don't eat it, where it come from, but also and then where we could take it. Because I think the importance of the story is to control the narrative about what it means to be Crucian, and get it out to, first and foremost, to Crucians and Virgin Islanders and people across the Caribbean, and then take it to the nation and internationally and to the world, because our story is beautiful. I mean, you talking about Miss Big Anne, and a woman who was big and strapping and graceful and filled with poise and, like you said, class, and how we would pick up each other and say, like, child, hold up your head. Like, those stories about who we were, the good times, and how we held and carried ourselves, those are the things that our young people and our next generation need to hear and take pride in. So thank you for joining us today. See you on the next segment. Might not be me, but hey.
You're welcome.
Don't walk it, you won't catch a belly. Don't walk it, you won't catch a belly. Don't walk it, you won't catch a belly.